Well, LandPaths was formed in the mid-90s essentially to aid the open space district in state parks and local parks, to be a manager of properties that were being acquired by the district. LandPaths is now playing a major role in terms of getting the public out into the open spaces, particularly those lands protected by the open space district.
LandPaths' primary mission is to connect people to this place, Sonoma County. There's three main ways that LandPaths connects people to land, that connects people to this place. Developing public access on preserved open space lands, stewarding those lands, and having a unique and award-winning educational program.
LandPaths is a long-standing partnership with the Open Space District. We like to think of it as the Open Space District protecting lands and LandPaths really focusing on connecting people with those lands. We lead over 50 tours every year out to properties like this that the Open Space District has protected. We try to offer a diversity of both ways to get out, hiking, biking, horseback riding, short walks, but also themes, whether you want to come out and learn about take a birding outing, or whether you simply want to go out for a rigorous hike up a mountain. We try to offer a little bit of something for everybody.
Well, I think anytime I'm outdoors, it's a great way for me to connect with the outer world around me. I spend my time shackled to a computer indoors 8 hours a day, and that's great for the paycheck, but I've got to feed my soul as well, and for me, being outside is that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me sane and happy. That's very cool.
We do have other properties that are not totally open to the public yet, but we have some wonderful nonprofit organizations, LandPaths that leads docent-led tours and actually qualifies people then to be able to go out on their own once they train them about being sensitive to the land and staying on the paths and what have you. And so they've opened up a lot of land that would not be opened up otherwise.
With the Willow Creek property, the partnership between State Parks as landowner, Open Space District as a significant funder of the property, and LandPaths as the facilitator of public access out here, that's really resulted in a number of different programs and ways that the public can get outside and really enjoy this piece of property. First and foremost is a permit program. And it's a free program. People can come out and spend about 45 minutes getting an orientation with a LandPaths staff member, and they go home with a combination to the gate, after which they're welcome to come back. They can hike, they can horseback ride, they can mountain bike on these 3,300 plus acres of new parkland.
The model that we've crafted with LandPaths was developed in an era of shrinking government budgets and shrinking state park budgets as well. The model has been extremely successful, and it allows us to continue to operate and acquire properties for the enjoyment of the public and for the protection of the landscape. It seems that something like this will be a part of the future of land management in California.
We also really focus on getting volunteers involved. In fact, really the only way that we can help state parks to run this property is with that volunteer investment. When they come out and they give something back, people really leave with a little bit more of a sense of accomplishment and a sense of an investment in that place. And this effort in preserving the Sonoma Coast is far from over. There are some larger swaths of this beautiful landscape that are still up for protection, and fortunately efforts are being made toward that goal.
Sonoma County has all of the kinds of landscapes and areas that can really educate and have people enjoy. All of them have a story to tell and also to give people a much broader sense of what nature's about and how we interact with it and how we live with it. Not necessarily just to know where our food is coming from, but to understand how we interact and how we're going to in the future, and particularly for the children of this county. And that's where our IUB, or In Our Own Backyard program, comes into being. And we're hoping at LandPaths to expand that program in a large way into the future.
Well, IUB stands for In Our Own Backyard, and we are an outdoor education program. We work with about 500 students here in Sonoma County, give or take, every year, ages 7 through 18, coming out to open space, protected lands, and parks around Sonoma County. Each classroom comes out with us 4 different times, and they explore different themes every time they come out. We've had teachers say to us that the only science their kids get all year long are on these 4 visits when they come out with LandPaths in the IUB program.
We also have some other ways that we connect people to land, connect people to place. One of the most innovative and recent is our Bear Farm and Garden project. The city of Santa Rosa recently purchased 6 acres of old farmland in the community of Roseland.
One of our programs is we have open garden times, so children from the neighborhood can come and interact with LandPaths staff. We've had lots of school classes come over and they learn about nature and the importance of caring for nature. We also have a LandPaths story time on Saturday mornings where children have bilingual stories and interact with the garden. It's important to interact with nature as a child. Not only does it help on an intellectual level in terms of understanding nutrition and health, it also is a very peaceful part of life, and it helps for people to be calm. It helps their development. I think people took it for granted that we got to play in nature as children, and nowadays you can't take that for granted. Children do not get out in nature very much, and what they're losing is that sense of exploration and surprise that nature just gives endlessly. Also, to have that agricultural background and to be able to pass that on to your children is very important in any culture, but especially I think the Latino culture, a lot of our traditions have a lot to do with food and nature. This land here, the Bear Farm land, is very significant for our community because we have very little open space here. And the kids really, they play on the sidewalks, they play in the streets, and they do not have access to any sort of parks, much less wild nature like we get to experience here. And when you don't have something fun to do, you'll find something that's probably not quite as productive as learning to garden.
I have the squash right there. This all right here is green beans. A couple tomatoes right here. I come water, weed, and a couple of friends helped me put it in. And there's another one over there. If this place wasn't here and I didn't have my garden, I'd probably be home watching TV or on the computer.
Local businesses, local philanthropists often ask us, where can my gift make the most use? And where can it be stretched the farthest if I give to LandPaths? And one of the things I'm quick to point out is that they're not giving to LandPaths, they're giving to these programs. They're giving to the places we protect. They're giving to people that have never had an opportunity to have a connection with nature where they live.
It does have a meaning to be connected to the land. Most people have what we might call nature deficit disorder. We certainly have children that way now. But the public want to get out into these beautiful places, not just look at it through their front windshield on their car. LandPaths is unique, I think, almost in this country. But our mission is to assist the agencies and others who don't have the staffing or the funding to get the public out there. And the restoration side, the public education side, getting the public out on the land, those are the 3 key elements that we strive to achieve. And people need to know where their food is coming from. People need to know that there are places that they can go and hike, where they can get their exercise, the understanding of the different forces and interactions of nature. Something that we're only now really beginning to understand in terms of the fate of this planet.
LandPaths.
LandPaths.
LandPaths!
LandPaths.
LandPaths!
LandPaths?
LandPaths.
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 LandPaths.